let's speak instead. We were just talking about the police department, Peter, particularly up in West Yorkshire. What we didn't mention was we also had a story yesterday about the Greater Manchester Police, who apparently were wandering around the city centre because they were asked to do so, basically targeting anyone who looked like they might be from an ethnic minority, asking them if they fancied joining the police. And they and with the invitation, they said, "Don't worry if you haven't got any qualifications. That doesn't matter."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They targeted these people as they came out of supermarkets.
Yeah.
We've got a shoplifting epidemic. Wouldn't it be great if our police services actually gathered themselves together and mobilised, like they did for the riots, quite rightly, when they mobilised 5,500 or 6,000, like the Met did for the Notting Hill Carnival when they mobilised 7,000 police officers. Shoplifting is ruining the high street experience for so many people.
And it's ruining businesses as well.
Destroying businesses and adding to the fear of living in a lawless country. Why don't they mobilise thousands of police officers to get on the streets and have an initiative to get a grip on this shoplifting? Answer to my own question, I'll tell you why they won't do it, because the government will say, please don't. We've not got enough CPS prosecutors. The courts are too busy, and we haven't got any room in jail. Right. What a joke.
I know, absolutely ridiculous. Well, I've got more bad news, I'm afraid, for the level of your arteries and your pulse this morning. NHS trusts are admitting in the Telegraph to fast-tracking ethnic minorities to top jobs to meet diversity quotas. At least 11 major hospital trusts around England have schemes or programmes focused on helping ethnic minority employees gain promotion to senior roles. I mean, who comes up with this, Cobblers, and why do they think it's a good idea?
Quotas.
What is wrong with them?
What's a load of nonsense, okay? Mike...
What a load of old quotas.
Are you sitting in that chair delivering this incredibly successful show because you were filling a quota?
I'm not.
Because they wanted a white bloke of a certain age?
No,
you're doing it.
In fact, there's more likelihood of me being removed as a white bloke of a certain age because actually I don't fulfil a quota at all.
You've got the job because you're blooming good at it. You've got it on merit, not to fill some kind of quota.
Also, they couldn't find anybody else. I mean, but that's just another story.
And if you had got it in order to fill a quota, how would you feel about that?
I know, you'd be feeling constantly, I would think, insecure.
Like
in
a con man.
Like a con man. Like they talk about people with, what do they call it? What's the syndrome they've got?
Imposter
syndrome, that's it. Because you think you've got something that you shouldn't have because you're not really qualified. I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that.
Yep, and yet these clowns, and these are all your DEI brigade as well. You know what I mean? All these intolerant HR people.
Oh, yes.
Or human capital management, as they probably call them.
Oh, they now call them head of people, they now call them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And this is their kind of lunacy. It's what they come up with. It's what they think works. It's what they think should be done. But with the worm turning, possibly, are we going to get whistleblowers who are truthful, saying, you know what, I got over-promoted, it didn't suit me, didn't suit the company or the organisation, and shouldn't have happened. Right. I hope we will. I suspect we might do.
Without wishing to in any way denigrate those people who have been falsely promoted, might it be possible that the reason the NHS is a complete and utter basket case and is run really, really badly is because a lot of the people who have been promoted into management jobs don't know what they're doing?
And not been promoted on merit.
No, they haven't. Check this,
really like that. Promote on merit.
Why not, indeed? A number of trusts have dedicated teams running leadership programmes for ethnic minority staff to boost their chance of securing promotion. Such schemes are run by University Hospitals in Birmingham, University Hospitals in Leicester and Newcastle upon Tyne. I mean, unbelievable stuff, this. Even Maidstone and Tunbridge Wells operates career workshops for ethnic minority staff and runs a reverse mentoring programme where junior ethnic minority employees mentor board members.
Yeah.
What?
The nonsense goes on in the same article about NHS equality, diversity and inclusion policies, right?
Call me old-fashioned, right? Would it not be just a better idea to help the people who are sick and to make them feel better?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Any chance of that?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Make the system run effectively for the benefit of people who are not well.
Maybe don't have people waiting 5 or 6 hours in A&E, you know, with your, white ally training. You know, how about train a few bleeding doctors?
I think if you waited 5 or 6 hours, you'd come out of there thinking you'd had a result. There are people having a lot longer waits than that, unfortunately.
True.
And they're trying to get them to adopt this Rooney rule, right? And it's come from American football.
Yes.
Okay. Where it says
it's got nothing to do with Wayne Rooney, which some people think
exactly.
It does.
Ethnic minorities have to be shortlisted for interviews, and they've got to make managers justify hiring white British people.
Yes.
The lunacy of it. You hire a white British person and then you might be held to account and have to justify that. What a load of tripe.
I know, what a load of old tosh. Now, we're going to take a little side alley here, just because it's been very serious so far this morning, apart from Katy Perry speaking about love on the Blue Origin flight. I'm going to ask you about this story on page 3 of the Mail. Only a third of young British women want to take their partner's surname when they marry, according to research, right?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one, because I've watched over the years many women that I know, friends of mine, who have become double-barrelled because they haven't wanted to lose their maiden name. And I thought you might have a view on this, Peter.
I've always wondered what happens.
Mrs. Blexley?
She, not at work.
Right.
Right? Because when she married me, we were in the police together, and I was going through a particularly acrimonious split from the Metropolitan Police.
Okay.
And Sarah felt it probably best to keep her maiden name.
Right.
Rather than draw
than be associated
attraction.
with a brigand like you.
Correct. But in personal life, of course,
Yes.
everything is the same. She's
But doesn't
very
it make
much
things complicated
Mrs.
if you go travelling, for example? I mean, the passport name, once you change it, you know, I mean, I also know women who have been married and then have become dislocated, divorced from that person, and have had to change their name back to their maiden name, and then got married again, changed it. I mean, you know, it can be difficult for women.
Yeah, but Sarah's passport is Blexy, you know, and all that has always been Blexy. It's just at work. She's just kept her maiden name for work purposes. But I've often wondered, and I don't know if anybody's got the answer to this, but what happens when two people who have both got double-barrelled names get married? For example, if you're Blenkinson Jones and then you're Archibald Harvey, when they get married, do they become Blenkinson Jones, Archibald Harvey?
Probably. I don't know. The answer to
that's
that.
a bit of a mouthful.
There's a lot of footballers are double-barrelled now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And people assume, oh, they must be posh. No, because it's no longer a posh thing to be double-barrelled. It's just a kind of a thing that some people do because they don't want to lose their initial, maiden name.
Yeah.
I mean, maiden name is probably not something people say anymore.
No,
because you're not a maiden. There's not allowed to be that.
Yeah, or probably.
Anyway, it's just quite an interesting thing,
and
it's just one of those talking points that I thought we would talk about through the course of the show this morning. So, I mean, because I know because I've got my first given name was actually Archibald, right? Which has caused me massive problems over the course of years because that's my passport, but it's not my name. I don't use it. I use Michael, but my mother was kind of forced into doing it because it was the firstborn son of the firstborn son, family tradition, all of that, right? But it means that I've now got effectively two names, one of which works in some credit scenarios and one of which doesn't. So it all becomes a bit mad.
Mark, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but in certain circles you've got lots of other names.
Well, that's true too. I mean, I get plenty of names on social media. Funnily enough, I'll probably revisit this particular situation soon.